This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So yesterday what we discussed, can someone tell me? Pranita, you joined yesterday class? So yesterday we discussed about some of the privileges and roles and various roles to the users, okay, which we are going to apply through the access group. So for the operator ID, we used to apply the access group. Under the access group, we used to apply the roles and then we are going to apply the privileges. Okay. So now today we are going to discuss something like, okay, so exposing the properties and why we need to expose the properties. Okay, exposing the properties and why we need to expose the property. Generally, whenever you create the work object, so where exactly the information will be stored?
Clipboard.
Okay, so from clipboard where it's going? It's going to saving into the database, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the database, what is the name of the table which it is going to save? Any idea? In case if he doesn't know in which database table it is saving, how we can see it? By opening the particular work class. Okay, go to the definition of that. Okay, so there we used to select something called test connection. Okay, so here we will be seeing like, okay, this is the database table where exactly the work objects are saving, right? So if you have any of the class, so the class will be prefixed with the PC underscore and then the name of the class. Okay, so likewise it is going to create the database table. So all the work objects will be saved in this database table. Okay, so right now if you see for this work class, these all are the work objects which I created. Okay, and all these work objects will be available in the database table. So that is PC underscore HDFC underscore HDFC insurance implementation underscore work, right? So now even in that database also, okay, we will be having various columns, okay, but our work object information will be stored in which database column? Is anybody has any idea? In which column of the database the complete work object information will be saved? For example, so when I open any of the work objects, so I'm going to give all the vehicle details, insurance details, and customer details, all these things, right? Okay. So when you give all this information, so is it going to have a separate column for each and every property? Is it going to have a separate property for each and every value which you are giving? So here we have something called customer display flashing with all the customer IDs, right? So name, address, city, and all these things. Okay, so customer ID, customer name, gender, okay, customer age, policy start date, okay, all these things are there, right? So these are the various property values which I am giving from the work object. So then, so is it going to have separate property for each and every property in the, are we going to have the column in the database? So
Yes.
if you want to
Yes, sir.
see, oh, so it's going to have a separate column? Okay, yeah. How we can go to the database and we can see the values in the database?
PG admin 4.
Yeah, so under the personal edition of your local laptop or desktop, okay, PG SQL and then PG admin 4 and then there we will be selecting PG admin 4. Okay, so once if you open that, okay, once if you open that, then we can see all the list of the tables. But currently our work table is PC underscore HDFC implementation work, right? So under this, these all are the columns available. Okay, these all are the columns available. Okay, so in case if you want to see all the values, so select start from the work table order by PJDNS key ascending order I have given. So as I said, so when I create the work object, for each and every work object, it is going to have the separate row, right? Separate record like C1, C10, 11, okay, like that, okay, C2, 20. So likewise, all the work object details we have in this column. Okay, now in this work object, so we have all these properties, right? Like all customers, branch code, branch name, city, claim details. Okay, customer age not applicable. Okay, customer not applicable. Okay, likewise we have these all are the properties. So do we have all these properties? Okay, do we have all these properties in this work object? See here, PX are Pega defined properties. Okay, all the PX and PY properties are Pega defined properties. PY event ID, PY SLA goal. So all are Pega defined properties are available. Only branch code, okay, the one which we have created, and remaining all are not visible here. So why? So where exactly it is saving? Is anyone remember about PZPV stream? I said actually the work object information will be saved in the database as a column PZPV stream, that is like a blob. Okay, binary large object. So the complete work object information will be saved in the blob format, that is the column which contains PZPV stream. Okay, that is the column which it contains PZPV stream. So if you open that, in case if you see select PZPV stream from this particular table, so this is the work object information. Okay, this is in the blob format. So we cannot understand that the complete work object information is stored in the blob format. Okay, so we cannot understand the blob format information, the work object information. Okay, so likewise for each and every work object, it will be in the blob format. But what are the advantages and disadvantages of having in the blob format? Can someone tell me any idea? What are the advantages and disadvantages of blob format? So the main advantage is, as it is in the blob format, okay, it is going to occupy the less memory. Okay, it is going to occupy the less memory. Okay, in case if you have 100 properties, okay, if you have even 100 different columns in the table, okay, it is going to take much storage. Like the lot of memory it is going to occupy it. Okay, and even when the work object is moving from your Pega application to the database, so it's like a secured. Okay, as it is in the blob format. So when someone hacks your work object information, so even it is like a somewhat secure. Okay, but there are some disadvantages as well. So what are the disadvantages? The main disadvantages are like, okay, the main disadvantages is, sorry, till now I said disadvantages, right? It is going to occupy the memory and all these things. The main advantage, okay, sorry, I got confused. Okay, the advantages and disadvantages. As it is secured, nobody can hack it. Okay, and it is less memory. Okay, these are the advantages. And disadvantages is like, okay, so when you retrieve the data from the DB, so from the blob format to property format, it should convert. Okay, when you open any of the record, okay, in case if you give customer ID, customer name, it will be saved in the blob format. Okay, and again when it is populating here, okay, when it is populating here, that should convert from blob format to normal format. Okay, that should convert from blob format to normal format like C001. Okay, so and again Prashant. So likewise, so you should convert from blob to text format. Again, when it is saving, this text has to be converted into the blob. Okay, and then it should save into the database. So for the conversion, it will take much time. Okay, for the conversion, it will take much time. Okay, so those are the advantages and disadvantages. And mainly when you want to create any of the report on this particular work class, then you have to create a separate column in the database. Okay, you have to create a separate column in the database. Okay, so the properties, okay, which you wanted to use in the report definition, okay, those properties must have the separate column. Then only the report definition is going to load very faster. Otherwise, for converting from normal text to blob format and blob to normal text format, it will take much time. Okay, so how we can create a separate column? As I said, right now we have only for the branch code. Okay, in case if I want to create the separate column for any other property. Okay, let's take an example like for the customer ID and customer name, I would like to have the separate column. Right now, do we have them? Let's try it out. Customer ID. First see customer ID. See, column customer ID does not exist. Okay. Customer name. Do we have? No. We only have branch code. See, only we have the branch code column in the database. Okay, so for most of the work objects, we did not enter the values. Only for few of the work objects, we enter the values. Okay, select PYID and again branch code. Yeah, so if you want to see like where branch code is not null. Yeah, only for 4 of the work objects, okay, we gave the branch code. So these are the things which it have the branch code, okay, with separate column. Okay, so when you create a separate column, what exactly it will happen is, okay, along with maintaining this branch code in the blob, it will also maintain separate column. Okay, it will also maintain separate column. So pz pv string. So even in this blob format also you will be having the branch code. Okay, along with that you have separate column. Likewise, as I said, I want to have the separate column for customer ID and again customer name. So how exactly you can create the separate columns for customer ID and customer name? Okay, I already shown you customer ID was not available here. Customer ID, so not existing. Now, if you want to create a separate column, so just press the right mouse button on the particular column which you wanted to, on the particular property which you wanted to expose. Okay, and then here you have something called optimize for reporting. Okay, you have something called optimize for reporting. Okay, and you can also see one more thing. For example, I want to create a report definition. Create reports, report definition. Okay, like property expose example. I'm giving the report definition like this. Create and open. Okay, so here in the column source, Okay, generally we will be selecting whatever the values you wanted to display while running the work object. So PYID and then customer ID, it's not there. Okay, and so do we have branch code? We have the branch code. Okay, we have the branch code. And do we have the branch name? Branch name, it is not showing. Why it is not showing the branch name? Why it is not showing the customer ID? Why it is not showing the customer name? And we are able to see only the branch code. Why we are able to see only the branch code in the list? And why not other columns? Why not other properties it is showing? Can someone guess what exactly the reason? Even I have shown you. In the database table, branch code is there. So here also you will be able to see the branch code. But whereas the branch name, okay, even though you have the property in this particular class, okay, where you are creating the report definition, okay, even though you have the particular property in the particular class, okay, where you are creating the work object, still you are not able to see in the column source. Why? Because these all are the properties are under the blob format. Okay, so the columns or the properties which are under the blob format, okay, cannot be seen in the report definition. Okay, we cannot be seen in the report definition. So even if you want to see them in the report definition, okay, if you want to see them in the report definition so that you can use while creating the report, okay, and even if you want to maintain separate column in the database, so for both of them there is one solution. So what is that solution means? Expose the property. So how you can expose the property means by pressing the right mouse button on the particular property which you wanted to expose and then optimize for reporting. Okay, optimize for reporting. So it is asking that, okay, the property optimization. Right now, this customer ID is available on these three classes. Okay, it is saying that, okay, property optimization for customer ID and the classes and their number of instances means the number of instances means work objects. So for the work class, the work objects are 261 available. Under the customer details, okay, there are 2 work objects available. For the test case, it is having only 0 work objects available. Okay, so likewise, it is showing that this customer ID is available in 3 classes. Okay, and we are going to optimize on these 3 classes. Okay, we are going to optimize on these 3 classes. So that optimization also, whether you want to do it now itself or later. Okay, population schedule at now or later. Okay, population schedule means what? So first it is going to create the column. Okay, it is going to create the column. Okay, and later after creating the column, even the values has to be populated from the blob. So right now the branch code is available in the PZPV stream and even the values also available in the PZPV stream in the blob format. So when I create a separate column, okay, I also wanted to copy the data for the particular work objects into this particular column. Okay, after creating the column, I also want to move the data. I also want to copy the data of that particular column. Okay, so that whether you want to perform now itself, otherwise do you want to do it later? That means it will just to create a column and later you can schedule it. Okay, when exactly you wanted to copy the data from this blob format to the branch code. Okay, blob format to the branch code. Okay, I want to do it now itself. I want to create the column. Okay, I want to create the column for the customer ID and then I want to copy the all the customer ID details to the particular customer ID column. Next. Okay, clicking next will start optimization for the eligible classes. Yes, fine. Okay, number of instances as it is having total 263. Okay, it will also copy all the 263 columns information for the customer ID. Okay. Done. It's completed. Okay. So now okay, earlier we were not able to see the customer ID, but now we are able to see the customer ID. Okay. Likewise, once after exposing, you can see the properties, the columns in the report definition. Let's also see in the database. See, customer ID. Earlier we had only branch code. Now you also have the customer ID. So likewise, when you optimize a property, so it is going to create a separate column in the database table. So now you can also see the values of the customer ID. For these three, the customer ID, we did not give anything, so it is showing blank. In case, if you want to see where customer ID is not null, like this. Yeah. These all are the work objects for which the customer ID we have given. Okay, for which the customer ID we have given like this. So now it has created a separate column, and also the values of this particular column also populated here. As I said, even here also you can see the customer ID. Okay, now one more thing. Customer ID and the branch code, and then now I want to see the same thing for the branch name. Okay, branch name. Right now you are not able to see it. So press the right mouse button, optimize for reporting. Okay, right now it is available on these three classes. Yeah, I would like to perform on all the three. Next. Okay, so I would like to confirm once again for you. Branch name. Okay, branch name has created. So earlier we were not having branch name. Let's refresh here. See, we also got the branch name. So likewise, you can expose the property and you can see the separate column in the database. Branch name. Okay, earlier branch code, now branch name. So likewise, you can expose the properties here. So now finish it. Already optimization started successfully, so it has optimized it. Now if you go to the report definition, see, earlier we were not able to see the branch name. Now we can see the branch name as well. Okay, so likewise branch code and again branch name. Likewise, you can expose the properties. Got it right? Exposing the property means it is going to create the separate column in the database table, and later the data for that particular column will be copied from PZ into the exposed column. Okay, so because of that, your report will be runs very faster. Okay, it retrieves the data very faster as you have the separate column in the database. Okay, now one more thing. So here we have something called customer age. So do we have the customer age? Customer age? No, we don't have it. Why? Because I did not expose it. But even though I did not expose it, can I use it? Okay, customer age and then save it. But when you save, you will be seeing a warning it. This record has one unreviewed warning. So see that warning what exactly? These properties are not optimized. Customer age. Displaying them may result in poor performance. Consult your system administrator about optimizing properties for reporting like this. Okay, so these properties are not optimized. So it is going to giving the warning to the user saying this report is not optimized and consult the system administrator for optimizing the properties for reporting. Okay, so and who all can optimize these things? Like this customer is who all can optimize? The developer who is having the administrator privileges. Okay, the developer who is having with administrator privileges can perform it. Now I am doing for the customer age as well. Okay, so after doing for the customer age, now if you save the report definition, see that warning has gone. Okay, so before optimizing, if you use this property, it was showing the warning it's not optimized, but now that warning has gone, say as we got optimized this property. Okay, so that is one thing. The next thing is like, okay, the next thing is like, okay, rule delegation. Okay, we have something called rule delegation. So what do you mean by rule delegation? What do you mean by rule delegation? So for example, I implemented an application. Okay, so I implemented an application, okay, for one of the bank, and in the bank for the savings account, okay, we need to maintain some minimum balance, right? I hope everybody know that. Okay, we need to maintain some minimum balance, okay, for the savings account. So right now, the banks are saying that, okay, in the HDFC banks, they are saying that, okay, there should be minimum balance of 10,000. Okay, and whereas the State Bank of India may be saying that the minimum balance should be 1,000. And if you don't maintain the minimum balance, there will be charges. Okay, and so this is like a current year, and in the next year, they may be changing these values. Okay, so based on the government, okay, suggestions or something else, okay, they may be changing that. So like now HDFC wants to maintain the minimum balance of only 5,000. Okay, only 5,000. But whereas in the previous year, the minimum balance should be maintained was 10,000. Okay, now it is only 5,000. So that means the criteria for maintaining the minimum balance is getting changed. So once it is changed, how exactly you can update it? Okay, how exactly you can update it? So actually these conditions, who is going to write? The developer is going to write. So when he is going to write the condition, when he is implementing the functionality. Okay, so he implemented the functionality and he has given the application to the HDFC bank. Okay, so once you gave the application to the bank, now your job is over. So, but for making a small change, like maintaining the minimum balance, okay, maintaining the minimum balance from 10,000 to 5,000. So again, the HDFC bank has to come to either Wipro or TCS or somebody else. Okay, he need to go for the bank. Sorry, he need to go to the company and ask him to change the minimum balance value, right? So that means every time they wanted to come and meet the Tata Consultancy Services or otherwise Infosys or Wipro, okay, they will be charging the money. Okay, even though it is a small change, they are going to charge the money. Okay, so and again, not only that, it will take some time. Like they will be changing the condition and they will be giving it for the testing. And once the testing in after the development, it will go to the SIT, and from the SIT it will go to the UAT, user acceptance testing, like that. Okay, after the UAT it will go to the pre-production, and later it will go to the production. So for making this complete, okay, environments move and each and every environment testing, it may take around 1 month. Okay, the change is very small, but for that he need to spend some amount, and also he is going to lose around 1 month time for this. Okay, it is taking 1 month time to make all these changes. Okay, so that is the reason why what the companies are telling that, okay, we would like to have the rule delegation. Okay, we would like to have the rule delegation. So what do you mean by rule delegation? Means rule delegation means for few of the rules on which the criteria are going to change frequently. Okay, on which the criteria are going to change frequently, like the conditions are going to change frequently. Okay, for them, we will give the editable permission. Okay, we will be giving the editable permission. Like in the HDFC Bank, okay, generally, as you know that, okay, we will be having the various portal. This is like a developer portal. Okay, for the manager, is it the look and feel? No, right? That is the different look and feel for the manager. And even the manager generally cannot do any coding. Okay, manager will be only have the rights like approve or reject kind of the things, or preparing some kind of the reports. Okay, and running the reports and see the results. Okay, and even the end user will be doing what? Okay, he will be taking the customer details and creating the bank account for the customer. Okay, creating the bank account for the customer. So likewise, he will be doing the things, but nobody is going to make the development. Nobody is going to make the changes once it is moved to the production. Production means to the end user who is going to work on the application. That is like a production. Okay, so in the production, okay, they will not be having the access to modify the criteria, or they cannot update the rules. So how exactly we can give that? Now this is the developer portal I have shown you. Okay, developer portal for the developer one or else somebody else. Now we have something called manager, right? RULGS. See, this is the manager portal. Here can we open any class? Can we open any activity? Can we open any flow or any flow action? No, right? We cannot open any of the rule available on the Pega. So here the manager only can see his work, and again he can open his work objects in case if he is having anything. Okay, and again he will be further processing the work objects on his work list. Okay, otherwise he will be seeing some of the work baskets here. Okay, they are like a work queues, and then he can modify the work objects from the work queues. Okay, so there are 3 work objects in the work queue, and he can open them, and again he can further process. Likewise, my work, and again, okay, team members work baskets. Okay, and also he can have something called my teams. So these things will be there. Okay, but here he cannot do any changes on the development, like a development environment. So now what I want to do for the manager, I want to give the permission to update the rules. So how exactly you can give the permissions to the manager? Okay, so how exactly you can give means, first of all we need to decide which rules has to be modified by the manager, okay, in the production environment. Okay, which rules should be modified by the manager. So we need to identify the rules. So generally the rules which the manager can modify is like a decision table. Okay, decision table, and this is the report definition, right? Okay, so decision table, like populate branch details is there. Okay, otherwise we have something called decision tree. Okay, so under this, okay, after opening the any rule, okay, if you go to actions menu, you'll be having something called delegate option. Okay, you'll be having something called delegate option. So once you have, if you delegate it, then the user can update it from the manager portal as well. But here you should also remember one more thing. When you want to delegate any rule, okay, when you want to delegate any role, you should not do the check-in or check-out. Okay, you should not lock the rule set first of all. Okay, once the rule set is locked, can we make any changes? Can we do check-in or check-out? No, right? If the rule set is locked, we cannot make any check-in, check-out. We cannot make any changes on the particular decision tree. Okay, so Hello. Hello. Hello, Prashant. Prabhu.
Yeah, sir. Please. Hello.
Yeah, are you able to hear my voice?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So here, if you want to make any changes, first of all, you should have the rule set which is not locked. Okay, then only you can make the changes. Okay, once if the rule set is locked, you cannot make any changes. That we already know that. Okay, even once if you lock the rule set, what we used to do, we used to create a separate version. Okay, the next version we used to create it, right? Okay, I explained you about all these rule sets and all like that. Okay, lock and save, and even if you want, you can unlock and save. But once if you lock and save, okay, we need to create a new version, right? Okay, so likewise, I used to tell you, okay, we need to have the separate version. Okay, whenever you log the rule set version, okay, in the unlocked. So in the same way, if you want to modify this decision tree, okay, if you want to modify this decision tree in the production environment by the manager portal, again, this should not be logged. Once if it is logged again, he cannot make the changes. So what the people will be doing is they will be maintaining one more rule set, especially for modification. Okay, they will be maintaining one more rule set, okay, especially for modification. So what exactly the modification? Okay, and how exactly we can do that means here, generally after opening the application, in our application definition, okay, so in the application we used to select the rule sets on which the user will be doing the implementation, right? Okay, in the same way, okay, in the same way, here we have something called advanced. Okay, even in the advanced also, okay, you can select the rule set, that is called a production rule set. This production rule set will not be locked. Okay, this production rule set will never be locked, and the rules which are available in the production rule set can be modified by the managers. Understanding? Till now we created all the rules in the HDFC insurance implementation rule set. Okay, but if you want to make any changes, okay, in the production environment, you should have one more rule set, and that rule set has to be referred from the production rule set list here. Like you can have one production rule set example. I'm going to create one rule set like this. Okay, so it is going to create a new rule set and again version, okay, with the description like this, and update my current application to include the new version, so that, okay, this will be referred in your application. Okay, create and open. So it is not existing. Do you want to create new one? Yes. Okay. Okay. Now it's got created, and then save it. Okay. So now this rule set has been created. Production rule set example 010101. You see. Okay, this is the new rule set we have created. But as I said, we should never log this rule set. Okay, we should never log this rule set. Okay, and later that rule set must be referred from the application rule. Okay, from our application we need to select the rule set, and along with that you also have to include here application rule sets, so that it is available to the user to save the rules in this particular rule set. Okay, now as I said, we have something called some decision tree. So now this decision tree right now it is in the HDFC insurance implementation. But as I said, if you want to give the access to the user from the manager, save as this, save as to which rule set? Okay, production rule set example. Okay, we only have one version, so select that and then create and open. Okay, So already this decision tree is in checked out mode. Okay, now okay. Now you can do the checkout. Okay. Once after doing the checkout, okay, as I said, if you want to give the editable permission to the managers, select action and then delegate. Okay, so specify access group. So who should be able to modify this rule? Okay, so I want manager to be edited this one. Okay, and then title. So to the user, what is the name? It has to be displayed. Returns vehicle type. Give some description. Okay, and then delegate. Okay, now it's got delegated. Okay, so log off manager. Okay, so this is the manager portal where he can see that rule which we have delegated, and how he can modify that one means we have something called configuration. Okay, you see in the configuration we will be seeing all the rules which are delegated to the managers. Okay, all the rules which are delegated to the managers. So like there is one more rule, public branch is there here, returns vehicle type. Okay, now I have delegated this particular decision tree rule. Okay, in case if you want to modify, you can just select edit and then you can modify it one. Okay, like this, you see here. Hello. Yeah. So likewise, so you can edit the decision tree or any decision table. Okay, like this. Okay. So and then you can save it. So that will be saved actually. Okay. Got it right. So likewise, even for the end user, we can give the permission to edit the rules, but you cannot edit all the rules. Okay. Only few rules can be modified, like activities, flows, everything we cannot we cannot delegate it. Okay. So the delegate option will be available only for few people. So now if you log in as a developer one, you see here. Okay. So for example, if you take report definition, then under the action, you will not be having the delegate option. So you cannot delegate the report. And even in case if you have the section, see, for this also you don't have the delegate option. Okay. So mainly the business logic, in case if you want to change, which changes frequently, for them we can give the delegate option. Okay, so only for those rules, the Pega is giving the functionality to make the delegate option. Okay, Pega is giving the option to delegate the rules only for few things, not for all of them. Got it right? So under them, decision tree and decision table are the few of them. Okay, the next thing is like, okay, once after creating the application, I want to move it to the testing. Okay, how you can move it to the testing? Okay, so as I said that initially, okay, we will be having various environments. Okay, once if you create the application in the development environment, okay, next we will be having SIT, UAT, pre-production, and again production. Likewise, you will be having around 5 to 6 environments. So I completed the development in the development environment. Now I need to move to the SAT environment. So how you can move your application to the SAT environment? Okay, so to move to the SAT environment, okay, the complete application we need to create a wrap. Okay, the product file. The product file is also called RAP. Wrap means rule, admin, and then product. Okay, so once if you create the product file, then you can move to the higher environments. Okay, for testing purpose, and later you can move to the production environment for the actual user. So how exactly we can create the product files? Means if you go to the records, okay, under sysadmin category, okay, you will be having something called product. Okay, you'll be having something called product. So if you want to create your own product rules also, create, okay, press the right mouse button on the product and then create it. Okay, so here it is asking again as usual the name of the product file, like Jan release. Okay, and product version 010101. This is the first version I'm going to create like that. Okay, so for the January release, I wanted to send my application for the testing. Okay, and then applications to include. So which application you wanted to send it to the testing? So our application is HDFC Insurance Implementation. And what is our application version? 010101. Okay. So here we have some more options as well in case if you want to include the production rule set. So just now we created the production rule set as well. So in case if you want to move the production rule sets also you can select. Okay, include associated data like the application instances and even operator IDs, everything if you wanted to move, you can select this one. And the shared or component rule sets will be there. So I will tell you again. So delta mode include rule history. So these all are not mandatory. Okay. And along with that, rule sets to include. So what are the rule sets as part of our application we have created? So we have created all HDFC rule sets. Okay. And in case if you have more number of the versions, so you need to select from which version to which version you want to move. If you have multiple versions, you need to select like this. And in case if you want to send only one version, you give only one version in both the minimum and again maximum version. Like this. Okay. So, and then class instances to include. Okay, class instances means what? As I said, work objects are the class instances. Generally, when you move the application to the higher environments, it will only move your application, but it will not move your work object instances. Okay, it will not move your work object instances. Why? Because in the development, I will be creating all the test work objects. So they are not required for the higher environments. Okay, they will be creating their own. And even if I move to the production environment, okay, there will be a lot of junk data. But in some scenarios, I may have to move specific instances. Okay, specific class instances. So in that case, you can select even the work objects or the other classes which you wanted to move to the higher environments. Okay, and even if you want, you can apply some filters as well, and when conditions also, like the city equal to Hyderabad, only those things I wanted to move. So likewise also you can apply some filters and when rules. Okay, and even if you want, you can move individual instances also. Okay, so you can include individual instances also. So how exactly you can include? Here select a class and press query. Okay, so even if you want, you can have the various classes, and again we can apply the query for that. So I created one of the work basket. So if you want, you can select that work basket. Okay, and so that selected class object will be coming here. And even in case if you know that any of the particular instances to be moved, you can directly type that key. Okay, each and every rule will be having a key. So for example, just now I created a section, right? Like S1 is there. So this section I wanted to move to the higher environment. Either if you give this rule set and version, automatically it will move. Otherwise, I don't want to give this rule set and version, but still I want to move only this particular rule. So how exactly you can get it? Means select the ID of that particular rule and then press Shift F8. Okay, when you press Shift F8, it is showing that it is a section under the class and the name and when it has created. This is the PJDNS key of the particular rule. Okay, PJDNS key of the particular rule. So that PJDNS key you can give here. S1 section. Okay, so likewise you can create it and you can give the short description. John release HDFC application. Okay, creation date and again short description. Okay, and then right now if you see here, when you are moving to the higher environments, generally it will ask that, okay, maximum version. Yeah, we don't have the, for the HDFC we don't have the maximum version 0.0102. So give 0.1.0.1.0.1. Now you can see the preview product file. See, when you select preview, it is completely listing out all the instances what exactly you are moving to the higher environments. So in this rule set, okay, one decision tree is moving. What is the decision tree which we created just now? See. Okay, likewise completely it will show you. Even in this also there is a one more decision table is there. And in our rule set insurance implementation, we have 2 rule sets. So likewise these are the total number of the rules which it contains on each and every category like this. So likewise we can see the preview of what all are the rules it is going to move. Okay, and then you can create a product file. Okay, once after seeing the preview, you can create a product file. So it is asking the file name what should be given. Okay, HDFC John release. Okay, and then of whether it is a jar file, otherwise zip file. It's our wish. Okay, whatever we want, we can create it. Jar. So now it is going to create it. But it is giving the error. What is the error? The product is referencing unlocked rule set version instances. Okay, we did not lock the 0.1.0.1.0.2, right? This 0.1.0.1.0.2, we did not lock it. So it is saying that okay, if it is having unlocked, you cannot move further. You cannot create the product. So for that also we have an option like allow unlocked rule set versions. Now if you select this, if you do this, see now there is no error. Okay, so that means without locking the rule sets, I wanted to move to the higher environments. Likewise. So totally 598 rules. It is going to create a file and it is going to move to that. Okay, so once if you click on that, it will be creating the jar file. Okay, see it has been saved into our local computer. Okay, and later we can move to the higher environments. Yeah, so HDFC John release. Likewise, it is going to create a jar file. Got it, right? So likewise, we will be creating the product file, and then this product file will be moving to the higher environments. Okay. So anybody has any queries, questions? So today, mainly we learn. Yeah, good. So what all are the topics we covered? Creation of the product file, and then how to delegate the rule, and then how to optimize the properties as a separate columns in the database. Okay, so likewise 3 topics we have covered. Okay. So all are very important topics. I hope you are clear, and I'm not sure. Okay. And then let's close and continue on Monday. Okay, most probably from Monday we'll be starting the integrations like agents, SOAP and REST connectors. Okay, and the email integrator. So likewise from Monday we'll be continuing all these 3 topics. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, what about videos?
What happened? I'm following up with him regularly. So it's Narendra only, right?